Good morning, dear students. Once again, welcome back to the English literature class. Today, we are continuing with the same poem, unit number 4, After Blenheim, written by Robert Southey, part 2. Do you remember what we were discussing in the last part? Old Caspar was sitting in front of the cottage. He was sitting in front of his cottage after working the whole day. His two grandchildren, Wilhelmine and Peterkin, they were playing in the front yard of his cottage. Peterkin, he got something very different, a round in shape, white in color, large in size. And he was so curious to know about it because he has never seen such a thing in his life. So he brought it to his grandfather to know what it was. Old Caspar, he took it in his hand and he told it was a skull of a person who died in the great war between Britain and France. And he was explaining some factors about it. That's what we were discussing in the last class. Let's see what had happened later. I found them in the garden, for there's many hereabout, and often when I go to plough, the ploughshare turns them out. For many thousand men, said he, were slain in that great victory. A few new words are there for you. First one, great victory. Great victory is a phrase used here to denote the battle between Britain and France. The English people and the French people, they fought each other, and it was a big war which made a lot of destructions. And both the countries witnessed the after effect of the war. So this word is used to denote the war which took place between the English and the French. And in the war, the British people, they defeated the French. So great victory means it was a battle between the English and the French, and in the battle they have defeated French. Second word, ploughshare. Ploughshare is an instrument used by the farmers to loosen the land. Farmers, they loosen the land before they cultivate it. It's a preparation before sowing seeds or cultivating something in the land. So ploughshare is the particular instrument used by the farmers to loosen the land. So a broad blade of a plough. So plough is an instrument, and it is being used to loosen the land. So a particular blade which is using or fixing on the plough is known as ploughshare. And the third one is slain. Slain means killed or assassinated. Not more than assassinated, killed, murdered. Now let's see what is being expressed in this stanza. I find them in the garden, for there's many hereabout. So old Caspar, he was continuing his conversation with his grandchildren. So he told, I have seen such a number of skulls when I plough the land. How? Because often when I go to plough, the ploughshare turns them out. So as we know, when the plough is used to loosen the land, it will dig out what really is there in the earth. So when old Caspar ploughed the land with the ploughshare, he got a number of such skulls, because he is saying that for many thousand men, said he, were slain in that great victory. So in the war which took place between the English and the French, in that war many thousand men were killed. And when thousands of people sacrificed their life, or behind the great victory, it caused thousands of people's life. So he told, I found them in the garden, for there is many hereabout. And often when I go to plough, the plowshare turns them out. For many thousand men, said he, were slain in that great victory. So whenever I plough the land, I am getting number of skulls, because thousands of people were killed in that war, and still we consider it as a great victory. Still the people of Britain considering it as a great victory. Now tell us what it was all about. Young Peterkin, he cries, and little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. Now tell us all about the war and what they fought each other for. There's a new word for you. Wonder-waiting eyes, which means waiting to hear exciting things. As we have already seen, children, they are very anxious to know. They have excitement when they see something new in their life, when they experience something new in their life. So here, both the children, they have seen something new in their life for the first time. So it was an exciting moment for them to know about it. So wonder-waiting eyes means they were waiting eagerly to know. With an exciting mentality, they were waiting to know what it was. Now let's see. Now tell us what it was all about. Young Peterkin, he cries. So Peterkin, who was small among the grandchildren, he started to request to his grandfather, tell us what it was all about. Whatever you know about the battle between the British and the French, tell us about it. Young Peterkin, he cries. And little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. The question is asked by Peterkin, but it created an exciting nature in the mind of Wilhelmine. She also wants to know what that really war was. And she asked, now tell us all about the war and what they fought each other for. Tell us about the war, whatever you know. And tell us one more thing, why they fought each other. They fought each other. Whatever you know, tell all about it. But we have to know one more thing, what they fought, why they fought each other for. What was the reason behind the war? For what purpose they fought each other? It was the English, Caspar cried, who put the French to rout. But what they fought each other for, I could not well make out. But everybody said, quoth he, that 'twas a famous victory. Two new words are there for you. First one, rout, which means complete destruction and defeat. So in a war, we know when a war takes place, its impact, its destruction will be very huge. So rout means complete destruction and defeat. Second word, quoth, which means said. He just quoted it. He just said it. Okay, now let's see what is being expressed in this stanza. It was the English, Caspar cried, who put the French to rout. So British people who were having dominions over the French, or in other words, French was so weak. That's why British people, without any difficulty, they have succeeded over the French. They defeated the French people in the war, who put the French to rout. But what they fought each other for, I could not well make out. I can speak so many number of things about the war, how it took place, where it started, and how many people died, what were the consequences, how was the destructions, how much we suffered in the war. All those things I can speak. I can speak a number of things about the war, but I could not explain. I could not explain for what purpose they fought each other for. What was the reason behind the war? I really do not know. But everybody said, quoth he, that was a famous victory. But all the people, the whole nation said it was a famous victory, even though none of those people were knowing its reason behind the war. So he said, it was a famous victory. That's what everybody said, but I do not know. I am not able to explain what was the reason behind the war. So dear students, here we are winding up. In the next class, we will see the next 3 stanzas of this poem. Till then, I would like to sign off. Thank you.